people, it's time for Rivendell. The elves are the oldest, wisest, and most skillful of all the races in Middle-earth. They are immortal beings, many of whom have been alive since the early years of the First Age. The mighty lords who command the forces of the elves are formidable leaders, and when the elves unite beneath the glittering banners, there are few who can stand against their might. This army may include Gil-galad, High King of the Elves, Elrond, Master of Rivendell, Glorfindel, Lord of the West, Erestor, Elladan and Elrohir, Arwen and Dormil, Lindir of Rivendell, Círdan, Gildor Inglorion, Bilbo Baggins, High Elf Captains, High Elf Stormcallers, High Elf Warriors, and Rivendell Knights. The profile for Bilbo is not found here, though. You have to check the page number 21 to find him there. Army bonus. Tang går du hide, Leithio I feeling. Which translates to something like hold the line, release the arrows. Whilst within 6 inches of the army's leader, friendly Rivendell models may re-roll, fail to hit rolls when making a shooting attack in a turn in which they did not move. Let's start to look at the heroes. First up we have Gil-galad, which is a High King of the Elves, and I have to say I don't really like his face. He looks kind of like one of the monkeys from Planet of the Apes. He's 170 points of legendary hero though, and he's a real badass. He has 3 might, 3 will, but only 1 fate, just like everyone else dies. Then he has fight 9, which is just incredible. Defense 7 can be upgraded to 8 with a shield. 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage of 7, so will only fail those courage test on a Snake Eyes 1. He is armed with heavy armor and a gloss, which is a named elven-made spear, which adds +1 to all of his wound rolls when making strikes. Can do a plethora of heroic actions here. Heroic resolve, strike, strength, defense, and challenge. And he can take a horse for 10 points, and as I already mentioned, a shield for 5. He has the Blood and Glory special rule Terror, and he is counted as a woodland creature. Blood and Glory means that he regains a single point of might spent earlier in the battle when he kills an enemy hero. He is High King of the Elves, which makes his stand first 12 inch rather than 6, and also friendly elf heroes can benefit from his stand first. Lord of the West means that a model with this special rule may re-roll a single d6 when making dual roll. Additionally, they may also re-roll a single d6 when rolling 2 wound rolls. So he's 170 points. Probably want to take that shield for 5 at least, possibly the horse. So we are closing in on 200 points there. Then we have Elrond, Master of Rivendell, for also 170 base. He is only defense 5 though, so you will probably want to take the heavy armor for 10 points, and possibly also the horse right. So we are 190 there. He has fate of 3 because he hasn't died, and he has a lower fight though with 6 and defense of 5 base. 3 attacks, 3 wounds, same courage. He has the named elven-made hand and half sword Hadafang. He adds +1 to wound spirit rolls when making strikes with, and he has one of the 3 elven wings, Vilja, so he can re-roll his dice when using fate points. He can do heroic resolve, channeling, strike, and defense. He's also a woodland creature, and he also causes terror, so he can't be charged unless the enemy succeeds with the courage test. Foresight of the Elder is a passive rule that he has. He has been blessed with a gift of foresight, an ability that allows him to guide his allies in battle. Which means that before the game you roll a d6 and make a note of the result, and those are Elrond's foresight points for the battle. During the priority phase, after the dice roll has been rolled, he may choose to expend these foresight points or alter the controlling player's dice roll. So that may be you, that may be the opponent. For each foresight point expended, Elrond may alter the dice score by either +1 or -1 to a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 6. He's also a Lord of the West, who has those rerolls for duels and 2 wounds that Gil-galad also had. He can do 2 medical powers, Wrath of Breenan, which knocks people flying and even cavalry, cost on a 4+, and he can make the Renews spell as well, which has a range of 12, 3+ on the casting there. Next up is Glorfindel, Lord of the West. Sadly we don't see the horse model here, which is awesome, but I can maybe add it in here in the post-production. He's 145 points base, hero of valor, so 1 a tier lower than both Elrond and Gil-galad. A real hero in the lore, especially if you have read like Silmarillion. You should know that he is just a badass. He fought a Balrog, and he was so mighty that the Valar sent him back. Actually, at the same time as the Istari came, Gandalf and those dudes. So he's that important and that badass. So he has a fight of 7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, same courage, 3/3/3 for heroics. He has an Elven Made Hand and Half Sword. He can do Result, Strike, Strength, and Challenge. And he has a special Armor of Gondolin option to take for 15 points, which is basically heavy armor, but it means also that monsters may not target Glorfindel with brutal power attacks. And he has an option to take a named horse called Asphodel, which has a move of 12, and also will benefit from the wooden creature rule of Glorfindel, so that's also given to the mount. And he also has that Lord of the West rerolls that Elrond and Gil-galad had. And he has a passive Unbending Resolve, which is awesome. He adds 2 dice to his will pool when he tries to resist spells, and he can do that even if his will is reduced to 0, so that's just also 145 point space. Erestor is next up. He is the chief counselor, basically, of Elrond. He was one of the guys who did not want to destroy the ring. He wanted to give it to Tom Bombadil and protect it. He has a defense of 7, with that heavy armor included. Fight 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, hero fortitude for 85 points, 1 less courage, but still pretty good on 6 courage. 2/2 for heroics. Those Noldorin daggers are awesome. They are Elven-made daggers, can be used for throwing as well. And he may reroll fatal wound rolls when throwing his daggers or when he makes strikes with them. He can take the heroic strike special action, and he causes terror, and is a woodland creature, obviously. Then we have Arwen Undomiel, which means Even Star, the daughter of Elrond, destined to sail to the Undying Lands and live out her mortal life there. But that's not the case with her, right? She's 60 points of hero fortitude, fight 6, but only 3 strength and only 1 attack. So she's not really the fighty type. 1 might, 4 will, and 1 fate point. So not really all that tanky. She can take the heroic defense, apart from channeling and resolve. And then she can also take the same horse as Glorfindel, or a regular horse, same points. But I guess if you have them in the same army, they can't ride the same horse. I'm not sure about that. She can also take an Elven Cloak for 5 points. She's an expert rider, and is a woodland creature, and can also cast that Wrath of Brynon, which we see in the movies, on a 4+. And we have the twin brothers of Arwen, and the twin sons of Elrond, as it were. They are 160 points for the pair of them. They are heroes of fortitude, 3 might, 2 will, and 2 fate. 6 fight, strength 4, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 6 courage. They have elven-made swords. They have the option to take horses, elf bows, elven cloaks, heavy armor, but you have to take the same picks for both. They are armed with special blades called twin elven blades. Armed with 2 blades, the brothers fight with a whirl of steel gleaming in the sunlight. Whilst fighting on foot, they may choose to fight in one of 3 ways. They may either fight using a single sword, fight as if it were a 2-handed sword. They may elect to fight with both swords for +1 attack, or they may elect to parry, which counts as shielding. They also have the active special rule, Unbreakable Bond. Should one brother be killed, the surviving brother will immediately increase their strength by 1 and increase their defense by 1. The surviving brother will automatically pass all courage tests they are forced to make and must do everything they can to charge the model that killed the brother as quickly as possible. Once the model is killed, the surviving brother must move as fast as possible towards the closest enemy model for the remainder of the game. Keep charging. Additionally, if the model that killed the brother is a hero, the first time the surviving brother is in combat with its brother's killers, he must declare a heroic challenge targeting that hero. Heroic challenge is basically locking one person in combat, and they then can't benefit from having other allies included in the fight. It's just a one-on-one. Without spending might, this may be done even if the hero is of a lower heroic tier than the surviving brothers, and they are heroes of fortitude. So pretty cool dudes there. Nice models. Then we have Lindir of Rivendell, which I'm not really fond of the model. He is 65 points of hero fortitude, 1 might, 3 will, 1 fate. The fight of 5, 1 attack only, 2 wounds. He can take a heavy armor and he can also take a horse for 10 points each. He is a noble and one of the stewards of the last Holy House. He is more of a skilled musician and songwriter than a fighter. He has the active special rule songs to Elbereth. All friendly Rivendell models within 6 of him gain the resistant to magic special rule, so they get 1 extra dice when trying to resist spells. He has passive rule Wise Counsel. If Lindir is within 6 of Elrond, then Elrond may spend a single point of will each turn without using his own store, which is obviously useful, given that Elrond can cast a decent amount of spells. And Elrond can do that even if he has no will remaining. So, interesting pick, even though I don't like him. Then we have Círdan, which is arguably the oldest elf in Middle-earth, still alive.
Hey!
He has 80 points of Hero Fortitude, 1 Might 4 with an asterisk will, and 1 Fate. He is an unarmed model though. He has 2 wounds. He is resistant to magic, he causes terror, because he's so damn old I guess. And he is a woodland creature, and he has the passive rule, the shipwright's power. In the years of old, Círdan was a formidable force, yet even though his physical power has waned, his mastery of magic hasn't. Círdan may spend a single point of will each turn without using his own store. He has the Aura of Command power on a 2+, he has Blinding Light on a 2+, Enchanted Blades with a range of 6 and a 4+, and an Aura of Dismay on a 5+, so quite a plethora of spells there. So, an interesting pick for sure. Then we have Gildor Inglorion, which is more of a wood elf type. He's not actually living in Rivendell. He takes his home in the wilds. And Gildor has made it his duty to keep a watchful eye out for travelers in these lands in order to guide them to safety. In fact, he is so well suited to his task, he and his kin are swift on foot, giving him a move of 8 and a fight of 6, a defense of 4, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 1 might, 4 will, and 1 fate for 70 points of hero fortitude. And if you include them, you may include Wood Elf Warriors of the Lothlorien army list. You can find that on page 88 in his warband, as if it were part of this army list. These Wood Elf Warriors must be upgraded to be Noldor in Exiles at the cost of +1 point to a model, and they have that also move 8, which is awesome. He also causes terror, and it's a woodland creature, and it can cast the Immobilize 12-inch range magical power on a 3+, which is a nasty spell which I've suffered from many times. Then we have High Elf Captains, which are not all that much to speak about. Kind of run-of-the-mill captains. They have defense 6 and can take a shield for 7 defense then. And they can take a heroic march, special heroic action. They have Elven Hand and Half Swords, which is obviously very useful. A fight of 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 2/1/1 for the heroics. There they can be upgraded with horses, elf bows, lances, and shields, and they have Expert Rider and the Woodland Creature special rule. They have Stormcallers, which are minor heroes, so only 6 troops in their specific warband. 60 points for them. They are not really fighty, obviously. They are more mages. They are 1 might, 3 will, and 1 fate. They have armor though, and elven swords and a staff, and they can do heroic channeling. They have the active special rule Power of Nature. If when a casting test is made, the Stormcaller rolls a natural 6, 1 or more of the dice, the will points spent in casting the magical power are returned to the Stormcaller store or will upon completion of the effects of the magical power. And they can use Call Winds, range 12, 3+, which kind of knocks people prone. And actually not knock them. Yeah, it moves them away d6 inches, and if you channel it, you can move them 2 d6 inches. And then they have the Strength and Will, which restores will points with a range of 12 on a 4+. And we have Warriors for 9 points each. Defense 5 can be upgraded with a shield to have defense 6. Fight 5 though, that's awesome for a regular trooper. 1 attack, obviously. 5 courage, pretty decent stat line there for a run-of-the-mill fighter. And they can take all the usual stuff that basic infantry can: warm banners, elf bows, shields, and spears. And they also have the Woodland Creature special rule. And then bringing up the rear we have Rivendell Knights for 20 wine points. That's quite expensive cavalry, but they have a lot of stuff going for them. They have the extra riding with increased special rule. They have heavy armor, lance, elven-made hand and half sword, elf bows, and horses. So lethal on the charge there with the lances, and very potent once they are engaged with hand and half swords that are elven-made. And also elf bows, and they can be upgraded with warhorns, banners, and shields. Fight 5, defense 5 base, can be 6 then with a shield, the courage of 5. So, yep. Very solid army list, good defense, good courage, and some awesome heroes here in the Rivendell Army list. So, make sure, as always, to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell button as well as to not miss out any further content. That's it for now. Take care.